A blessed day mga kapatid. This time, meron po tayong tatalakayang napakahalagang usapin. And this time, we are talking about the uploaded videos na shinare ng isang ex-Mormon. Tapos he claimed to be ex-Christian as well. Dumaan daw sa deconstruction, dati raw siyang religious. And he quoted, or let me see, nire-upload niya ang isang documentary. At ang dokumentaryong yun ay may pamagat na Creating Christ. At sa 4 to 5 part series na ito, we will analyze the arguments that had been presented. You see, kailangan kong maging fair dito. And I'm sorry na voice lamang po inyong maririnig, but that's okay. I hope you could listen to the entire thing. Analisahin nyo po yung mga presentation na aking sasabihin at this point. Well, hindi porket may documentary na mukhang intellectual, cinematic, at may mga historiador na nagsasalita, automatic ng totoo ang conclusion nito. Kasi nabanggit dito like sino tong isa? Robert Price na isa ring mythicist, no? Kasi, you see, let's admit, sa YouTube, there are many documentaries na magaling mag-connect ng dots. But, here's the question. Legitimate ba ang connections o coincidence lang na pinilit gawing conspiracy? Diyan po bumagsak ang dokumentaryo na Creating Christ. Kasi ang central thesis ay ganito. Ang Christianity di umano ay imbensyon ng Roman emperors, especially ng Flavian dynasty, sina Vespasian at Titus, para kontrolin ang mga rebelyosong Hudyo. Sounds dramatic, right? Kaso kung susuriin po natin itong mabuti historically, archaeologically, and philosophically, and logically, ang daming problema. Now, let's go to this one. At unahin natin yung part 1 na pinost ng ex-Christian na ito. Based on his re-uploading of the said video. Did Jesus really exist? I still remember the debate that I had with an atheist and mythicist about this. Ang ilang hyperskeptics, they claim that Jesus did not really exist, right? But almost all serious historians, including atheist historians, they agree that Jesus of Nazareth really lived in the 1st century. So hindi lang Kristiyano ang nagsabi nito. We've got the documents from non-Christian sources like Tacitus, Josephus, Pliny the Younger, Lucian of Samosata, you name it. They are not Christians. And yet they confirm the existence of Jesus Christ. Even Bart Ehrman, an atheist and agnostic New Testament scholar, says that Jesus certainly existed. Kasi nga, dahil sobrang daming independent historical references, madalas ang naging debate ay hindi kung si Jesus ay nag-exist, kundi sino ba si Jesus? So, agad-agad, overstated na yung documentary na yan. Ngayon, tingnan natin ang mga objections, no? So, sabi, the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, were written after 70 AD, therefore fake. Kumbaga, the Gospels mention the destruction of the temple, therefore, they must have been written after it happened. Pero, teka lang mga kapatid, even if some Gospel material was finalized after 70 AD, ano ngayon? Hindi po ito nangangahulugang peke si Jesus, hindi po ito nangangahulugang invention ng Romano ang Christianity, at lalong hindi ito nangangahulugan na fabricated ng resurrection. So, dun pa lang, ang hina naman ng logic niyan. Okay, ganito lang kasi, ano yun? Kung sasabihin ko na magkakaroon ng malaking digmaan sa Middle East and nangyari later, hindi ito nangangahulog na peke ako, hindi ito ibig sabihin na ako yung Roman propagandist, at lalong hindi ito ibig sabihin na gawa-gawa ang buong buhay ko. One more thing, sa Old Testament pa lang, may prophetic tradition ng Judaism. And Jesus Christ predicted not only destruction but judgment against the corrupt temple system. So historically, mga kapatid, maraming scholars ang nag-iisip or they think that Jesus genuinely predicted turmoil because of number 1, explosive political climate noon, number 2, rising Jewish nationalism, and number 3, anti-Roman tensions. Hindi imposibleng prediction yon. At katunayan, Many Jews on that time expected war. Isa pang claim dito, si Vespasian daw ang tunay raw na Mesiyas. Napaka-weirdong lip yan ng documentary. Bakit? Oo nga, sinabi ni Josephus na na-fulfill daw ni Vespasian ang propesiya. Pero bakit? Simple. Si Josephus ay under Roman patronage. Siya ay prisoner ng Romans turned collaborator. Naturalmente, politically advantageous yun para sa Roman Empire. So, hindi po ito nangangahulugang inimbento raw ng mga Kristiyano si Vespasian bilang Jesus. So, that's a big leap. One more thing, ikumpara natin si Jesus kay Vespasian. Take note ha, tingnan niyo po yung differences. Number 1, tungkol kay Jesus, he preached enemy love. He was crucified by Roman Empire. He rejected political violence. And he had Jewish disciples willing to die for him. Si Vespasian naman, siya ay Roman military emperor who crushed Jerusalem. Siya ay pagan ruler and was he worshipped imperial power. So, paano magiging parehong figure yun? Bukod sa hindi match ang personalities, hindi match ang teachings, hindi match ang movements. So, it sounds like, you know what? Nonsense. Next claim ng naturang documentary, the Romans invented Christianity to pacify Jews. The Romans invented Christianity to pacify Jews? Yan ang pinakamalaking problema ng theory. Isipin niyo ito mga kapatid. Why would Rome invent a religion that refused emperor worship, proclaimed another king? Si Jesus yun? Why would Rome invent a religion that spread anti-idolatry, produced martyrs, and got Christians killed? That makes no political sense mga kapatid. Kung Roman propaganda tool ang Christianity, then bakit pinapakain sa leon ang mga Kristiyano? Bakit sila pinag-uusig? Bakit sila pinagsusunog ng buhay? Bakit sila ipinapako doon? Especially nung panahon ni Emperor Nero, Domitian, and Diocletian. And FYI, Rome persecuted Christians precisely because Christians would not worship the emperor. So, paano naging Roman psyop yun? Parang gumawa ka ng organisasyon tapos ikaw mismo papatay sa mga miyembro. Diba? Now, how about the anchor and fish symbol argument? Think about that for a moment. Tingnan nyo kasi, ang sabi ng naturang documentary, actually, ito ang isa nilang smoking gun. Sabi nila na may anchor at fish sa Roman coins, may anchor at fish din sa Christianity. Therefore, Romans invented Christianity. But that is horrible historical methodology. Bakit? Symbols overlap all the time. Halimbawa, gumagamit tayo ng wedding ring. Halimbawa sa akin, may wedding ring ako. Di ba? May wedding ring kami ng misis ko. Siyempre noon, ginagamit din yun ng mga pagano. Ibig bang sabihin, ang kasal ay pagano? Hindi. One more thing, real talk lang. The early Christians often redeemed existing symbols. Halimbawa, shepherd imagery, light imagery, vine imagery. Common cultural symbols yun. Concerning to the fish symbol, yung ichis, it became Christian symbol. Bakit? Yan ang Greek acronym para kay Jesus Christ na anak ng Diyos at tagapagligtas. It is connected sa mga fishermen disciples niya, and it is connected doon sa mga feeding miracles na ginawa. So sorry, hindi po yan Flavian propaganda. Paano naman yung anchor? Hebrews 6 verse 19 already explains anchor symbolism. Anong sabi? We have this hope as an anchor for the soul. So may direct ng Christian theological basis. So bakit kailangan pa ng conspiracy? O sabi pa, Christianity borrowed from pagan religions. I remember this kind of nonsense sa naging debate ko sa isang mythicist na nagsabing na-refute na raw niya ang historical Jesus by quoting that nonsense. Classic argument, lumang-luma. Sabi nila, dying rising god, Serapis, Asclepius, dahil yan, Jesus copied. But if we examine this in actual scholarship, most alleged parallels are what? Exaggerated. Halimbawa, si Mithras ba ay isinilang noong December 25? Hindi. Mahinang ebidensya. Si Horus ba ay ipinako sa krus? Hindi. Ang mga paganong Diyos ba ay muling nabuhay bodily sa kasaysayan? Not really. Kasi most pagan myths are cyclical fertility myths, symbolic nature stories, and timeless mythology. But Jesus Christ is presented as number one, recent historical figure under Pontius Pilate in a specific place witnessed publicly tied to Jewish monotheism. So that is radically different. Ngayon, alam niyo po ba kung anong pinakamalaking problema sa documentary? Hindi po sinagot po ang mga evidence for the resurrection. Kasi kahit i-argue nila na Roman influence, symbolism, politics, kailangan nilang i-explain why did the disciples suddenly believe Jesus rose physically from the dead? Remember, before the resurrection, takot na takot ang mga disipulo. Nagtatago sila. Tila baga nawawalan na sila ng pag-asa. But after the resurrection claim, they were willing to die for it. They publicly preached it in Jerusalem. Yung lugar kung saan naganap ang time na yon nung si Jesus ay hinatulang mamatay. What caused the rapid rise of the Christian faith on the first century? Roman propaganda ba? Hindi. Guys, propaganda does not create Jewish monotheists willing to lay their lives for a risen Messiah they personally claim to see. And concerning to the empty tomb, even skeptical scholars admit, women discovered the empty tomb. Bakit mahalaga? Kasi sa first century, and by the way, hindi ito nagawang ma-debunk ng mga atheists na naka-encounter ko online. Even Ilu and others, they cannot even debunk it. Sa first century kasi, women had low legal testimonial status. So, if fabricated ang story, then why make women your primary witnesses? That hurts credibility in ancient culture unless that's what actually happened. At itong pinakamabigat, yung mga sulat ni Apostle Paul, those were written very early, around 50s AD, bago man mawasak ang templo sa Jerusalem, bago pa ang Flavian propaganda claims. At tinuturo na ni Apostle Paul na si Jesus ay namatay by means of crucifixion, siya ay inilibing, on the third day he rose again, and Jesus appeared to the witnesses. Most scholars agree this creed, found in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, goes back within a few years after the crucifixion, meaning the resurrection belief was not invented decades later by Romans. Ngayon, pansinin nyo, bakit tila baga parang convincing ang mga ganitong conspiracy theories? Kasi they create emotional narrative, hidden history, secret manipulation, and what they don't want you to know. Ano yun? Parang naalala ko tuloy yung Da Vinci Code. May libro akong binasa na ganyan, meron ako niyan. Nakapanood pa ako niyan before. You know what? Yung ganung mga conspiracy theories na yan, psychologically attractive yun. But historians do not work by, wow, ang galing ng coincidence. May mga tanong ang mga historiador. Ano yung best explanation? Ano yung mga documentary evidence, manuscript evidence, textual consistency, and sociological plausibility? And Rome invented Christianity statement fails badly. So, yung first part na yon, did this part debunk Christianity? Short answer, no. What the documentary does well shows Roman political background, shows Hellenistic influence in the ancient world, shows imperial cult parallels, and raises interesting historical question. But, 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 what it fails to prove, ano yung mga yun? Hindi napatunayan na si Jesus ay hindi nag-exist. Hindi napatunayan na inimbento ng Roman Empire ang Christianity. Hindi napatunayan na fabricated ng resurrection. Hindi napatunayan na mga Roman agents daw ang mga disipulo ni Kristo. At hindi napatunayan na Flavian propaganda raw ang Gospels. In fact, the evidence strongly points the other way because Christianity began too early, centered on eyewitness claims, emerged from hostile Jewish monotheism, was persecuted by Rome, and spread despite lacking political power. That is not how invented imperial propaganda usually behaves. So, why would Jews invent a crucified Messiah? You see, a crucified Messiah was a contradiction in Judaism. Messiah was supposed to conquer. Crucifixion meant curse and humiliation. So why invent that? Because something happened that forced them to reinterpret everything. And the best explanation remains, Jesus truly lived, truly died, and his followers genuinely believed they saw him alive again. Christianity did not conquer Rome by the sword. It conquered Rome by truth, sacrifice, martyrdom, and the unstoppable conviction that Jesus rose from the dead. And that is something conspiracy theorists still cannot adequately explain. So mga kapatid, part 1 pa lang yan. Hintayin niyo po yung part 2. Mas malalim man pa pong diskusyon ang ating ipepresenta. Ang dami pa nating pag-aaralan. And dun sa ex-Christian na nag-re-upload ng naturang documentary as if yun ang magpapatunay na hindi totoong Christianity, aba, ang payo ko lang sa'yo kaibigan, re-examine the said documentary na yung na-upload at sana magkaroon ka ng time para pag-aralan kung tama ba ang pinagsasabi ng documentary nang hindi po nakapatong sa inyong confirmation bias. See you on the part 2. Hello mga kapatid and welcome to the part 2 of this video. Ngayon ang i-discuss natin yung pangalawang video na pinost ng isang ex-Christian as if yun daw ang nagpapatunay na hindi raw totoong Christianity, na hindi raw nag-exist si Jesus na taga Nazareth. But let's be fair. Kasi napanood ko rin yung almost 2 hours documentary pa lang dito, no? Kasi hindi porket may documentary na mahaba, may mga nababanggit na mga scholars dyan, may dramatic music at historical footage daw, automatic totoo na agad. So, hindi po yung tanong na mukhang convincing yung tanong dyan. Ang tamang tanong, supported ba ito ng mainstream historical evidence? Dito po kasi magsisimula ang problem ng documentary na Creating Christ. Kasi marami sa claims dito, hindi talaga bang discoveries eh. Karamihan ay recycled theories mula sa fringe scholarship. Yung mga idea na matagal nang nireject ng majority ng historians. Kasama na po yung mga secular historians. And remember, you don't need to believe the Bible bilang inspired word of God para mapatunayang si Jesus ay tunay ngang nabuhay sa 1st century, na siya ay namatay by means of crucifixion, at totoong naniwala na ang mga disipulo they had seen him alive again. Kasi nga, kahit mga skeptical historians, they accept that. Ngayon, tingnan po natin yung mga claims, no? Una, syempre, obvious na obvious. Sabi raw, Paul invented Christianity. Ito ang isa sa pinaka-common internet claim. But historically, napakahina. Dahil si Apostle Paul mismo ang nagsabi na ang mensahe na kanyang pinangangaral ay hindi po imbento. Read 1 Corinthians 15 verses 3 to 8 for yourselves. And at this point, let me read this passage for you, especially to those who are listening to me right now. So let me read. in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verses 3 to 8. And please listen very carefully, mga kapatid. Sabi, sapagkat ibinigay ko sa inyo bilang pinakamahalaga sa lahat, ang tinanggap ko rin. Tinanggap ha? Tinanggap. Ano yun? Si Kristo ay namatay dahil sa ating mga kasalanan tulad ng sinasabi sa kasulatan. Inilibing siya at muling nabuhay sa ikatlong araw tulad din ng sinasabi sa kasulatan. At siya ay nagpakita kay Pedro at sa ka-12. Pagkatapos nagpakita siya sa mahigit na 500 kapatid na nagkakatipon. Marami sa kanila ay buhay pa hanggang ngayon, subalit patay ng ilan. At nagpakita rin siya kay Santiago at pagkatapos ay sa lahat ng mga apostol. Sa kahuli-hulihay, nagpakita rin siya sa akin kahit na ako'y tulad ng isang batang ipinanganak nang wala sa panahon. Remember ang sinabi ni Apostle Paul dyan. Ibinigay ko sa inyo bilang pinakamahalaga sa lahat, ang tinanggap ko rin. For what I received, I passed on to you. Ibig sabihin, may creed o teaching ng umiiral bago pa siya nagsulat. At ayon sa maraming scholars, including skeptical scholars like Gerd Ludemann and Bart Ehrman, the creed in 1 Corinthians 15 dates within just a few years after the crucifixion. So hindi po yan decades later, hindi yan Roman invention, at hindi medieval myth. Early po yan. So bakit importante yun, mga kapatid? Dahil pinapatay nito ang idea na unti-unti dinevelop lang si Jesus bilang divine figure. No! The resurrection belief was already there from the beginning. So, hindi si Apostle Paul ang nag-imbento niyan. Tinanggap niya ito mula sa mga original disciples. Claim to. At actually, ilang ulit ko na pong nasasagot po yan sa mga videos ko before. At saka yan din po yung ginamit ng nakadebate ko noong January na nagpipilit na nanalo na raw siya, na na-debunk na raw yung historical Jesus kahit wala naman sa target yung mismong mga pinagsasabi. So, ano yon? Anong claim? Paul never met Jesus, so unreliable siya. Well, technically, oo. Hindi niya nakasama si Jesus during earthly ministry. Pero misleading kasi ang implication kasi nga, nakilala niya sina Peter and James personally, kinumpirma nila ang kanyang preaching, and yung very early siyang naging part ng Christian movement. In Galatians 1 to 2, sinabi ni Paul na pumunta siya sa Jerusalem at nakipag-meeting kina Apostle Peter and James. So what's the conclusion here? Walang contradiction sa gospel message. So, kung Roman spy o inventor si Apostle Paul, then bakit siya tatanggapin ng mga original disciples nito? At kung peke ang kanyang mensahe, then bakit siya binugbog, kinulong, pinahirapan, and eventually pinugutan ng ulo? Anong Roman agent pa ulit-ulit na inuusig ng Roman Empire? Sige nga. That's illogical kung ganyan yung trip nyo na i-argument para lamang patunay na Jesus did not exist. Now, dito tayo sa Paul was a Roman agent na claim. Actually, habang pinapanood ko kasi yung part na yan, medyo natawa ako sa ganung claim eh. Kasi isa yan sa mga weakest parts ng part 2 ng documentary na in-upload ng ex-Christian na yan. Ano yung argument ng Creating Christ documentary doon tungkol kay Apostle Paul? Si Paul ay Roman citizen, protected siya minsan ng Roman guards, therefore siya ay Roman spy o espiya. Pero, sorry, napakahinang logic niyan. Roman citizenship was not unusual at kahit may riot, trabaho talaga ng Roman soldiers na pigilan ng mob violence. Hindi po ito ibig sabihin asset na agad. Seryoso ba? And remember, eventually, according to earliest traditions, Paul was beheaded under Emperor Nero. So, bakit papatay ni Emperor Nero ang kanyang sariling undercover propagandist? Sige nga, paki-explain nga sa akin mga mythicists. One more claim, si Jesus daw ay violent revolutionary. Okay, it is a big issue. Yes, it's true that there are many Jews at the time of Jesus who are waiting to the military Messiah. It's true. But here's the problem. The documentary assumes since many Jews expected a warrior Messiah, therefore Jesus must also be one. Kaso, hindi valid logic yun eh. Katunayan, one reason bakit maraming Hudyo ang hindi naniwala kay Jesus. Alam niyo ba kung bakit? Hindi po kasi siya violent revolutionary. He taught his followers to love their own enemies, pray for their persecutors, turn the other cheek. At ang pinakamahalagang historical fact, when Jesus was arrested, hindi lumaban ang mga disipulo niya gamit ang military rebellion. In fact, pinagsabihan nga niya si Apostle Peter na wag gamitin yung naturang espada. Put your sword back. Kung zealot revolutionary movement to, then bakit walang armed uprising during that time that Jesus has been taken captive, condemned to death, scourged, he was crowned on thorns, binuhat ang krus, ipinako, namatay? Bakit walang zealot revolutionary movement to? Ha? Bakit walang military resistance? Atheist, mythicist, let me ask you, bakit walang ganun? Sa inyo ngayon ang burden of proof. Also, next claim. Ito, medyo, ano to ha? Kasi ito yung core conspiracy ng documentary na yan. Ano yon? The Gospels were Roman propaganda invented by the Flavians. Really? The Gospels were Roman propaganda invented by the Flavians? Napakaraming historical problems nito. Bakit? Una, zero direct evidence that Flavian emperors wrote the Gospels. Wala. Nothing. Zero. Nada. So, saan nila napulot yung ganyang kalokohan? Are they serious about that? Really? Wala talaga eh. As in, wala. No manuscript, no Roman memo, no ancient historian saying Rome invented Christianity. Purong spekulasyon at paralel lang. Ngayon, bakit gagawa ang Rome ng relihiyon na nagsasabing si Jesus ang Panginoon kung ang Roman slogan ay si Caesar ang Panginoon? My friends, Christianity directly challenged emperor worship. And actually, there are many Christians who were being unalived because they don't want to worship Caesar. Kaya bakit gagawa ang Rome ng movement na sisira sa kanilang imperial cult? And one more thing. The Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, contain embarrassing details. So kung propaganda ito, then bakit nila isinama ang pagiging duwag ng mga disipulo? Bakit isinama yung 3 beses itinatwa ni Peter si Jesus? Bakit naisama doon na ang mga babae ang unang mga witnesses? At bakit isinama doon ang nangyaring pagkapako sa krus? Kasi sa ancient world, nakakahiya. Yun ang nakakahiyang kamatayan. Yung ikaw ay ipako sa krus. Hindi ka gagawa ng fake Messiah tapos ipapako mo sa krus. Really? N.T. Wright says, no first century Jew was expecting a crucified Messiah. Ibig sabihin, hindi po ito invented story na madaling ibenta. Sa totoo lang, napakahirap nito paniwalaan noon eh. At I remember na yan din ang ginamit noon sa debate namin ng atheist at mythicist na yon, na wala raw nangyaring persecution sa mga Christians noon. Kalahating katotohanan na yan na naman, kasinungalingan pa rin. Tama yung sinabi ni Candida Moss na exaggerated minsan ang later martyr stories. But it doesn't mean na walang nangyaring persecution. Kasi even secular historians, they acknowledge persecutions under Nero, Diocletian. And we've got references from Josephus, Tacitus, Suetonius, and Pliny the Younger. Oh, iset aside natin si Josephus dito. Doon pa lang kina Tacitus, Suetonius, and Pliny the Younger. Roman sources yan. So, hindi yun alamat. Tapos ang sabi, Jesus may not have existed. Napaka-fringe yan. As I've told you before, kahit mga atheist scholars, they reject this kind of nonsense. And by the way, si Bart Ehrman na isang atheist and agnostic New Testament scholar, meron siyang libro na Did Jesus Exist, right? Na sinasabi ng anti-Christian na nakadumi ko dati na, di naman yung peer review, keme-keme. Pero guys, listen to this. Siya mismo, he wrote an entire book defending the historical existence of Jesus kasi the evidence is overwhelming and almost all serious historians agree. Jesus existed. So the real debate is, who was he? At saka, kahit mga skeptical scholars kasi, majority agree sa facts na ito. That Jesus existed, that he was crucified under Pontius Pilate, his disciples sincerely believe he rose from the dead, Christianity rapidly rises very early, and Paul converted suddenly after being enemy of Christian faith. So what is the best explanation? Ano yung pinaka-the best na explanation dyan? Hallucination? Conspiracy? Roman propaganda? Mass deception? O talagang may nangyari? Ngayon, dahil nga nabanggit yung tungkol sa mga martyrs, no? Pero maraming namamatay sa maling paniniwala. Correct. Pero iba ito kasi. People die for beliefs they think are true. But the first disciples of Christ were in position to know whether the resurrection was fake or real. Kung ninakaw lang nung katawan, din alam nila. Kung scam lang, alam nila. Yet, they suffered anyway. That demands explanation. Ngayon, how about James and the Dead Sea Scrolls? May similarity ba between Jewish mga sekta kumbaga, and Christianity? Of course meron. Kasi Christianity came from Jewish background. So hindi yun nakakagulat, no? Kaso ang ginawa ng naturang dokumentaryong yun, parang similarity is equals on identity. Pambihira. Is it, kumbaga, that's bad history. Kumbaga, parang sinasabing, parehong may baptism ang dalawang groups, therefore parehong movement sila. But that's not valid kasi. At isa pang huge problem dito na hindi napansin, alam niyo kung ano? Conspiracy theories require silence. Kung Rome invented Christianity, tanong ko lang, lalo na po sa mga agad naniwala sa documentary na yan. So kung talagang inimbento lamang ng Roma ang Christianity, then bakit walang whistleblower? Bakit walang ancient Roman record admitting it? Bakit willing na mamatay ang mga apostol ni Kristo? Bakit ang Christianity ay anti-idolatry? Bakit hindi nila pino-promote ang emperor worship more clearly? My friends, conspiracies become harder to sustain habang mas maraming tao ang involved. And Christianity is spread across hostile territories rapidly. Ngayon, itong pinakamahalaga. Pansinin nyo. The documentary constantly builds theories on possibilities, parallels, speculation, and suspicious wording. Pero kulang sa hard evidence. Kung napanood nyo po yung Creating Christ na documentary, meron kayo maririnig na could have, might have, possibly, seems to indicate. But we'll talk. History is not built on imagination alone. So, The New Testament documents are far too early, far too rooted in eyewitness testimony, and far too counterproductive as propaganda to be Roman inventions. And if Romans invented Christianity to pacify Jews, they failed miserably because Christians ended up proclaiming that Jesus Christ is Lord, not the Emperor. At yun mismo ang naging dahilan kung bakit sila inusig. So yung part 2 na yun, may na-debunk ba sa Christianity? Wala pa rin. Did it raise historical questions worth discussing? Well, yes. But, you see guys, raising questions is not equal to disproving Christianity. Yung documentary na yan, it heavily depends on the following: speculative connections, fringe scholarship, conspiracy-style reasoning, and selective use of evidence. Meanwhile, the historical case for Jesus remains extremely strong, and even skeptical historians affirm that Jesus existed, was crucified, and sparked a movement centered on resurrection belief almost immediately after his death. So, yan na yung part 2 po natin. And I hope sa mga nakikinig po sa atin, magkaroon po sana tayo ng mas maliwanag na pagpresenta ng mga ebidensya dyan. Kasi, totoo, napaka-artistic ng naturang documentary. Talagang ginugol yung mga almost 2 hours na yan. But, does it mean na totoo yan? Kasi kahit sabihin natin napakaganda, maraming kung ano-ano dyan, gayon man, hindi lahat ng mga nakasad sa dokumentaryo yan ay totoo. Real talk yan. Abangan niyo po yung part 3 mga kapatid. Good day. Welcome to the part 3. Ngayon ang ating itatakel ay yung third upload, or let me say re-upload ng isang ex-Christian batay sa documentary na Creating Christ. You see, ang documentary na yan ay polished, dramatic, at maraming historical names na binanggit. Flavian, Josephus, Titus, Roman coins, symbols, propaganda, you name it. And I admit, sa unang tingin, parang convincing. I still remember the site, guys, noon. But, is it supported by mainstream historical evidence? Dito nagsisimulang bumagsak ang documentary. Kasi, hindi nito na-debunk ang historical Jesus, hindi na-debunk ang resurrection, at lalong hindi nito nawasak ang Christian faith. Katunayan, karamihan sa claims nito ay recycled versions ng old Jesus myth theories na matagal na pong tinanggihan maging ng maraming atheist historians. So, ngayon, to recap, ano ba talaga ang claim ng Creating Christ documentary? Ang central thesis, ganito: the Flavian Roman emperors invented Christianity as political propaganda after the Jewish War. Ano yung mga idea? Remember the following, no? Para alam nyo po ang punto ng ating pagsagot sa mga claims nito. Kasi mayroong ilang claims dyan, I already addressed that. Not only in the debate that I had with this guy who claimed that na-debunk na raw niya yung historical Jesus, so wala raw kwentang resurrection. Now, ano yung mga ideya? Number 1, ginamit daw ng Roma ang Christianity para gawing peaceful ang mga Hudyo. Number 2, literary invention di umano si Jesus. Number 3, propaganda documents di umano ang Gospels. Number 4, si Apostle Paul daw ay connected sa mga Roman elites. Number 5, ang mga Christian symbols daw ay galing sa Flavian symbols. Number 6, ang mga miracles di umano ni Jesus ay kopya lamang daw mula sa mga paganong storya. And last, ang Christianity daw ay synthesis ng Judaism plus Roman religion plus paganism. Sophisticated, di ba? O baka may mga naniwala sa inyo dyan nung una nyo napanood yung documentary. Kaso may malaking problema. Pakinggan nyo po. Alam nyo po ba kung ano yung biggest weakness ng documentary na yan? Ang pundasyon kasi nito ay conspiracy theory lang. Ito ang unang dapat mapansin, lalong-lalo ng mga critical thinkers. Para maging totoo ang teorya, kailangan makontrol ng Roma ang buong Christian movement, dapat ma-fabricate ang maraming documents, dapat makumbinse ang thousands na mga Hudyo, dapat mapeke yung martyrdoms, maimbento mga disipulo, ma-maintain ang conspiracy ng walang whistleblower. Tanong ko lang, bakit ang mga apostles ni Christ, they are willing to die para sa bagay na alam nilang imbento lang? Yan ang malaking problem ng conspiracy theories. So, hindi po sapat na sabing propaganda lang yon. Kailangan mong i-explain kung bakit willing mamatay ang mga eyewitnesses, bakit nagkaroon ng explosive growth ng Christian faith, bakit hostile witnesses like Paul and James converted, bakit may empty tomb tradition, bakit sobrang early ng resurrection belief. Yan ang dapat nilang in-explain sana. Now, halos lahat ng historians, they agree that Jesus existed. Even Bart Ehrman, Maurice Gacy, Giza Vermes, they all affirm that Jesus existed historically. Fringe position lang yung mythicist theory. Ngayon, puntahan natin yung naturang documentary. Sinasabi kasi nito na may Roman coins na may peace, hope, salvation. Therefore, Christianity copied Rome. But, teka lang. Ang lahat ng yan, universal virtues yan. Pag may salitang kapayapaan, pag-asa, kahabagan, kaligtasan, hindi ibig sabihin imbento na agad ng Roma. Ano yun? Parang sasabing, may coins ang Pilipinas na may salitang hustisya. Kaya lahat ng nagsasalita tungkol sa hustisya, gawa ng pamahalaan. That's absurd. Diba? Ngayon, sabi pa, Luke copied Roman imperial propaganda. Yung peace on earth, di ba, na nakarecord sa Luke chapter 2. Kaso kabaligtaran, ang mga unang Kristiyano, they intentionally presenting Jesus as the true Lord, not Caesar. Guys, in Roman Empire, ginagamit kay Caesar ang mga titles like Son of God, Savior of the world, and even the title Lord. Pero ginagamit ito ng mga Kristiyano kay Jesus. So, hindi ito submission sa Roma. Hamon yan sa Roman Empire. And we know, based on historical facts, Christians were being killed in Rome noong 1st century. So, kung propaganda tool sila ng Roma, bakit sila pinagsusunog ng buhay? Bakit sila pinapakain sa leon? Bakit itong mga Kristiyanong ito naging martir? Can you explain that, mga kapatid, mga kaibigan? Lalo sa mga nagpaniwala doon sa naturang documentary? Also, yun nga, kumbaga naulit lamang yung ating nasagot last time. No? Christianity was invented to pacify Jews. Historically problematic yan kasi ang Christianity hindi naging popular agad sa mga Hudyo. Maraming Hudyo, they are rejecting Jesus. And Christians themselves were persecuted by Jewish leaders and Romans. So, kung propaganda ito para i-pacify ang mga Hudyo, then bakit naging source pa ito ng conflict? At ayan pa, mga kapatid, think about this. yung old mythicist argument na paulit-ulit na natin na-refute, like Jesus copied pagan gods. Alam niyo kung anong problema? Superficials tuloy. Superficial parallel lang, like may Diyos na namatay at nabuhay. Okay. Pero ibang konteksto, teolohiya, timeline at kahulugan. And by the way, the resurrection, bodily resurrection in history yun. Hindi po ito cyclical nature myth. So, napakalaking diferensya. And I remember one of the claims of this guy who claimed na, nalibang ko ng historical Jesus, therefore walang resurrection na yan. Ginamit yung tungkol kay Vespasian. Na, ang naghimala rin si Vespasian, di ba? Pero, as I've already said before, nasa naging debate review ko sa mga arguments na sinabi nito. Guys, sobrang weak argument yun. Well, may claim si Vespasian na nagkapagpapagaling. Ano ngayon? Di ba? Kasi, guys, maraming ancient rulers claimed miracles. But it doesn't mean si Jesus ay invento o kinopya lang daw. Sa totoo lang, kabaligtaran pa nga. Bakit? The fact na may miracle traditions noon proves ancient people distinguished between claim and credibility. And remember, the accounts of Jesus are multiply attested, embedded in hostile territory, connected to eyewitness and movement, and it was tied to the resurrection claims. So, hindi yan simpleng imperial propaganda. Ngayon, sinasabing si Paul daw ay connected sa mga Roman elites, but that's misleading. May interaction si Apostle Paul sa mga Roman officials, but of course, meron. Roman Empire Roman Empire ang setting ng Acts of the Apostles na libro sa Biblia. Pero interaction does not equal conspiracy. Pero kung tama ang logic ng naturang dokumentaryo, then but by that logic, halimbawa, pag kinausap ka ng mayor, ibig sabihin agent ka na ng gobyerno. Ay, naku. Alam niyo po ba kung anong biggest problem sa documentary na yan? Especially the documentary as a whole? Bakit imbentuhin ang crucified Messiah? Sa Judaism kasi, kapag ipinako ang isang tao, pagka ito'y na-crucify, isinumpa. Supposedly, ang isang Mesiyas dapat victorious king. Sa ancient world noong 1st century, nakakahiya na ikaw ay ipinako sa krus. So kung imbentuhin mo ang Christian religion, bakit mo pipiling central figure ang isang publicly executed criminal? Napaka-counterproductive. Mas madali pa nga maniwala. Mas madaling gumawa ng victorious military hero. Pero alam nyo ba kung anong pinipreach o itinuturo ng mga Kristiyano noon? Hanggang ngayon? Ang Mesiyas ay ipinako sa krus. Historically embarrassing yun, mga kapatid. And historians know, embarrassing details are less likely invented. You know what? Gusto kong i-pinpoint yung catacombs argument. Kasi, ang sabi doon ng documentary na yan, Christians were not really hiding, kaya fake daw yung persecution narrative. Aba. Hindi naman claim ng historian na every Christian everywhere was always hiding underground. Anong klaseng joke time yun? Persecutions were often local, sporadic, politically motivated. Hindi constant empire-wide extermination. Ngayon, ano ba ang real problem sa Creating Christ documentary? Magaling sa association pero mahina sa ebidensya. Tingnan niyo yung estilo. Interesting coincidence. Perhaps, could have, might indicate, astonishingly. Kaso, hard proof, kulang. Walang manuscript evidence, Roman confession, documentary conspiracy, at direct evidence na we invented Jesus. Puro speculation lang. Connected by dramatic narration. Now, why Christianity actually spread? Hindi po ito dahil sa Roman propaganda yan, kundi dahil ang mga tao dyan, they believe Jesus truly rose from the dead. And earliest Christians were Jews, strict monotheists, ayaw sumamba sa mga nilalang lang sa mga tao, yet suddenly, they worship Jesus as God, they were willing to lay their lives, they abandoned old categories. Something massive happened. So, still, kahit sa third part ng video na shinare ng isang ex-Christian, well, walang debunking na nangyari. Nothing. In fact, the documentary mostly avoids engaging the strongest resurrection evidence. Pansinin niyo po yun. Ngayon, pag narinig mo ang ganitong documentaries, remember, similarity does not equal causation and speculation is not evidence. The documentary creates an atmosphere of suspicion, but suspicion is not proof. Minsan nga, ang danger ng hyperskepticism, pag lahat pwedeng i-dismiss as conspiracy, wala ng historical event na pwedeng malaman. Now, if you deny Jesus, if you continue to deny him despite of multiple sources, enemy attestation, early creeds, martyrdom, explosive rise of the said movement and historical impact, then honestly, mas mataas pa ang faith required para paniwalaan ang conspiracy kaysa sa resurrection. That's all for part 3. Lord willing, we are on the final. Kaya sa mga nakikinig po sa akin as of this recording, wag lang kayong basta maniwala lang sa kung anong sinasabi ng dokumentaryo o sinishare lang ng mga anti-Christian o let me say, mga ex-Christian daw na na-deconstruct daw, whatever. Walang masama na pakinggan ang kanilang side. But, remember, huwag maniwala agad. Magsaliksik muna nang hindi po agad-agad na pupunta sa confirmation bias na tinatawag. Kayo po makapagpasya dyan, mga kapatid. See you on the part 4. At dito po natin makikita kung ang kabuuang dokumentaryo ay may mga patunay o baka chismis lang. See you guys. Welcome to the part 4 and I think final kasi yung part 4 na ito na presenta ng isang ex-Christian doon sa kanyang channel ay mula sa Creating Christ documentary. Well then, is this documentary really a knockout blow against Christianity? The short answer is no. Actually, marami na nating naipresenta na mga arguments laban sa documentary na yan. At napatunayan po natin na ang daming butas. Kasi yung documentary yan ay hindi talaga nagde-demolish ng historical Jesus o resurrection. Ang ginawa nito, nagbibigay ng speculative theory, nagko-connect ng loose parallels, nag-assume ng conspiracy without strong evidence, nagdi-dismiss ng mainstream historical scholarship at madalas, yes, inuulit lang ang old mythicist arguments na matagal na po nating nasagot. So, recap lang tayo. Ang central thesis ng documentary, Christianity was basically Roman propaganda created by the Flavians to pacify militant Jews. In short, the Romans supposedly invented Jesus, the Gospels were allegedly propaganda literature, it was created to make Jews obedient to Rome. Jesus may not have existed at all, or if he existed, he was very different from the gospel Jesus. Pero anong evidence? Kasi sa kasaysayan, hindi po sapat ang interesting parallels, symbolic similarities, maybe, could have, perhaps. Dapat may documents, early testimony, corroboration, explanatory power. Yung documentary na yun na umaabot ng almost 2 hours, pagsak. Diyan bumabagsak. Ngayon, tingnan natin po ang ilang mga objections doon. Ngayon, yung no contemporary records claim, yan ang ginagamit ng mga hyperskeptics tulad ng nakadebate ko last time noong January. Yan ang pinaka-common internet atheist argument. Pero teka, hindi unusual yon sa ancient history. Kasi maraming ancient figures ang wala ring contemporary records. Like Socrates, Spartacus, Hannibal. Most ancient people were known through later sources. Ngayon, ikaw, kung standard mo must have contemporary Roman records, then halos mawawala ang malaking bahagi ng ancient history. One more thing, sabi, wala raw archaeological evidence. Kaso mali po yung framing. Mali ang framing. Bakit? Hindi archaeology ang primary evidence para sa ordinary itinerant preacher. Ano yung expect nyo? Driver's license ni Jesus? Roman mugshot? DNA sample? Yun bang ibig nyo sabihin? Guys, archaeology usually confirms places, customs, political figures, and culture. And guess what? The New Testament repeatedly gets this right. Examples? Anong mga sumusunod? Inscription concerning Pontius Pilate, Pool of Bethesda, Caiaphas Ossuary, Nazareth, 1st century crucifixion practices. So, archaeology actually supports the New Testament setting. Ngayon, ano ang pinakamalaking problema sa documentary? It ignores mainstream scholarship. It's important kasi kahit atheist scholars today generally accept Jesus existed, he was crucified, and Christianity began very early. Ngayon, yung sinasabing Romans invented Jesus na siyang pinaka-core claim ng documentary, then why would Rome invent a movement that refused emperor worship, got Christians executed, destabilized Roman religious unity, and proclaimed another God or another Lord? Remember, Christians were persecuted by Nero, Domitian, Decius, and Diocletian. Kung Roman propaganda palang Kristyanismo, then bakit pinapatay mga Kristiyano? Also, the disciples would have known it was fake. But this is devastating to the conspiracy theory. Because the first Christians were Jews, monotheists, anti-idolatry, and suspicious of Rome. Yet they suddenly proclaimed Jesus rose from the dead, that he is Lord, that he fulfilled prophecy, and many unalived for it. Pakinggan po ninyong mabuti. People die for lies they think are true. Okay? They think are true. But people do not willingly die. But people do not willingly die for lies they know they invented. At ang mga disipulo ni Kristo, they were in position to know whether the tomb was empty, Jesus appeared, and the resurrection happened. Alam nyo guys, habang pinapanood ko yung documentary, napapaisip ako, asan ba talagang debunking dun? Kasi the documentary spends enormous time talking about symbols, Roman politics, pagan parallels, evolution ng church, but avoids directly dealing with, alam niyo kung ano? The historical case for the resurrection of Jesus. Because, you see, that's the hard part. Most scholars, even skeptical ones, accept these facts that Jesus died by crucifixion, the disciples sincerely believe he rose from the dead, Paul converted suddenly, James the skeptic, yung kapatid ni Jesus, became believer, and the tomb tradition appeared extremely early, napakaaga. So what best explains these facts? Siyempre, obviously, sa ika-4 na bahagi ng video na shinare ng naturang ex-Christian, nabanggit na naman yung pagan copycat na yan. The documentary mentions Osiris, Mithras, mystery religions, dying and rising gods, but you see, maraming exaggeration dyan. Example, si Mithras daw ay virgin, I mean, Mithras had a virgin birth. Pero historically false yun. Another claim, Osiris resurrected like Jesus. Pero hindi totoo yun. Osiris becomes ruler of underworld, not bodily resurrected into glorified earthly life. Yan ang malaking pagkakaiba. At how about Jewish context? Kasi Christianity did not emerge from paganism first. It emerged from Second Temple Judaism. Ang mga unang Kristiyano ay mga Hudyo. The resurrection concept came from Jewish framework. Messiah, the resurrection, Passover imagery, kingdom of God. Hindi ito parang random pagan cult na inimbento ng Roma. Ngayon, how about Romans chapter 13? Alam nyo guys, the documentary heavily leans on Romans 13. Oo nga, Paul says obey governing authorities, but that was common Jewish wisdom, meant maintaining order, not revolutionary violence. And at the same time, Christians also declared that Jesus Christ is Lord, which directly challenged Caesar is Lord. So, hindi yan komportable na Roman propaganda. Mapanganib yon. And wait, the documentary confuses development with invention. Christian doctrine developed in expression over time. Totoo na may mga nangyaring councils, theological language became precise, and denominations emerged. Pero hindi yun fabrication. Halimbawa, the doctrine of the Trinity was clarified later. But the raw data already existed, and it was found on the 27 books of the New Testament that affirms that the Father is God, the Son is God, that the Holy Spirit is God, and yet there's one God. One being of God with 3 persons. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So, sorry to tell you my friends, but fact check po, the councils did not invent Jesus. They defended interpretations about Jesus. At ito pa yung matindi. Parang naalala ko yung Da Vinci Code na naman dito at saka yung claims ng mga mythicists. Inimbento raw ni Constantine ng Christianity. But guys, laganap na po ang Christianity. Laganap na po yan from 1st century bago pa man isinilang si Constantine. Long before him, meron na po mga churches. May mga bishops na noon. May mga creeds. May mga martir. Meron na po yung mga books of the New Testament. Constantine did not create Christianity. He legalized it. Ginawa niyang legal. At sana, sa mga nakikinig po sa akin, kung napanood niyo po yung Creating Christ documentary na shinare ng isang ex-Christian dyan, pansinin niyo po yung mga wording. Perhaps, could suggest, some have suggested, likely, possibly, maybe, probably. Hindi po yan solid historical proof yun. Speculation lang yan. Baka lang naman. Ganon. Malamang. Ganyan. Remember, in historical method, speculation is not enough to overturn multiple early sources, apostolic testimony, hostile corroboration, and explosive rise of the Christian faith. And the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, do not read like pure propaganda. Actually, they contain embarrassing details. Imagine mo, kung propaganda yan, sana hindi isinali yung mga embarrassing details doon. Pero hindi. I mean, hindi talaga. So, kung pure propaganda yan, yung Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, bakit andoon yung mga embarrassing details? Like, Peter denied Jesus 3 times, women as first witnesses, duwag noon ng mga disipulo, especially nung time na si Jesus ay pinako sa krus, which is nakakahiyang kamatayan yun, at na-record pa na may pagdududa ang mga apostol. Guys, listen. Listen carefully. Propaganda literature usually glorifies heroes, but the Gospels repeatedly embarrass theirs. And if Jesus did not rise from the dead, nasa ng kanyang katawan? Remember, nagsimula ang Christianity saan? Sa Jerusalem. The exact place where Jesus was executed. And if the body existed, Rome or Jewish authorities could simply produce it. Tapos na ang Christianity. Kung ganon, di ba? Pero hindi. Lumaganap ang Christian faith. Bakit kaya? So, malaki ang burden of proof sa mga tumatanggi dyan. Now, sabi Christianity evolved. Well, of course, it did, socially and institutionally. But evolution of structure does not disprove origin. Example, science evolved institutionally. Ibig bang sabihin, hindi nag-exist si Isaac Newton? And concerning to the Dead Sea Scrolls, actually, in reality, the Dead Sea Scrolls do not destroy the Christian faith. Masyado kasing ginawang exaggerated yung mga pinagsasabi sa Creating Christ documentary. Sa totoo lang, the Dead Sea Scrolls actually support textual reliability. It shows Jewish context of Christian faith and confirm messianic expectations existed. So again, they do not prove Romans invented Jesus. Not even close. And one more thing. Ito po ang major logical error ng Creating Christ documentary. Genetic fallacy. Sabi kasi ng documentary, Christianity was politically useful, therefore Christianity is false. But usefulness does not determine truth. Let me give you an example. Sabihin natin yung tungkol sa atheistic worldview, no? Atheism can also be politically useful. Does that make atheism true? Hindi po. Truth is determined by evidence. Ngayon, real historical question tayo. The central issue is not symbols, emperors, and later church politics. The real issue here is this. What happened to Jesus after the crucifixion? Because something explosive happened historically. Paano ipapaliwanag ang empty tomb, resurrection belief, willingness na ialay ng mga apostol ang kanilang buhay, conversion ng mga skeptics tulad ni Paul and James, rapid church growth and early creeds? Most scholars date the 1 Corinthians 15 creed na yan, few years of crucifixion. That is way too early for legend development. Now, final verdict po tayo ngayon mga kapatid. So, yun, na-acknowledge naman natin yung yung ex-Christian na yun na talagang nire-upload niya, hinati sa 4 na bahagi ang naturang documentary para i-share niya po sa mga followers niya. Unfortunately, hindi po natin ma-stitch. Kaya gumawa na lang po ako ng ganito. Kasi iniisip ko, kung talagang confident siya na tama ang kanyang mga remarks, bakit kaya hindi niya pinindot yung stitch doon sa kanyang mga TikTok videos? I'm wondering why. Anyway, let's go to the point of this. No? Did creating Christ debunk Christianity? Did it destroy the historical Jesus? No. 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 Did it raise interesting historical discussions? Sure. Kaso nga lang, the documentary relies heavily on speculation, conspiracy-style reconstruction, parallelomania, selective evidence, and skepticism toward Christianity alone, while ignoring mainstream scholarship, strong evidence for Jesus' existence, early resurrection belief, and weakness of mythicist theories. Ngayon, itong big irony. Pakinggan niyo po itong mabuti mga kapatid. The documentary says Christianity was invented by Rome. Yet historically, the Roman Empire persecuted Christians, executed Christians, feared Christian refusal to worship Caesar, and saw Christianity as destabilizing. That's incredibly strange behavior toward your own propaganda invention. Now, if Jesus had risen from the dead, then Christianity is true. Regardless of abuses in church history, political misuse, denominational confusion, and Roman involvement later on. So, that will be all, my friends. If Jesus did not rise from the dead, then Christianity is false. But if he rose from the dead, game over. Christianity is true. So, the Creating Christ documentary is just as nonsense as it is. So, my dear friends, I invite you to re-examine the claims of the said documentary compared to what the historical presentation were saying, compare what the Bible really says, and see if the said documentary tell you the truth or it was just presenting silly propaganda. Kayo pa rin ang makapag-decision dyan, mga kapatid. Thank you for listening. And I hope dun sa mga nanood po sa naturang documentary, including the said so-called ex-Christian na nag-share pa nito sa kanyang channel, re-examine your own position. Kasi, what if yung position ng Creating Christ documentary mali pala? At the end, it's up to you who will decide. I would like to conclude this 4 to 5 part series na ito, no? Dahil gusto kong i-connect ito sa naging debate ko sa isang mythicist at atheist, or should I say mystic atheist na nagpapanggap na professor daw, na noon, lalo sa kasagsagan nung bago yung debate ko sa isang Muslim about the resurrection, sige yung challenge natin sa kanya na i-disprove. But instead of accepting the debate challenge, you know what I mean. Ang ironic pa, naging adjudicator pa itong tao, kaso, hindi po siya kumilos ang ayon sa kanyang role. Kumbaga, nag-ambush pa siya ng isang parang debate point scheme, tapos gumawa pa ng video as if sinasabing, panalo ako, natalo ko si Sir Roel. Really? And this time, mag-share ako ngayon dahil ito'y bahagi ng masasabi ko na 4 to 5 part series. Ito yung last, no? And maybe, ito po yung magiging insight po para sa inyo pong lahat. As of now, na-expose lalo itong taong ito dahil sa mga topics may kinalaman dyan about morality, logic, you name it. Doon pa lang bumabagsak na itong taong ito. Yun lang, syempre, ego, ganun, which is I understand. So, tapos na po tayo sa 4-part series natin about the said documentary entitled Creating Christ. I've realized something na hindi dapat baliwalain, no? Kaya i-share ko po sa inyo, no? Bago po tayo gumawa ng mga responses kasi, pinanood ko talaga muna yung documentary. At habang sinusuri ko kasi yung mga claims dito, at habang kinukumpara ito sa actual scholarship sa historical studies, may mga claims dito na halos pareho sa estilo ng mga argumentong ginamit nitong taong ito sa naging debate namin noong January. Guys, hindi lahat ng mukhang skeptical ay tunay na critical thinking. Minsan pa nga, ang ibang skepticism, nagiging hyper-skepticism na. Yung point na kahit gaano kalakas ang ebidensya, hindi pa rin tatanggapin dahil ayaw talagang tanggapin ang conclusion. At yan yung problema doon sa nagpakilalang professor daw. Yan kasi ang problema sa maraming modern internet atheism ngayon. Hindi na ito simpleng pagtatanong, actually, pinersonal na ako sa mga videos niya last time. Right? Alam niyo po yan, mga kapatid. Sa totoo lang, hindi na ito simpleng pagtatanong. Automatic denial na yung ginawa. And while I'm watching the said documentary, agad ko nang napansin yung pattern. Ano yun? Number 1, cherry-pick sources. Number 2, exaggerated conspiracy theories. Number 3, misuse of historical silence. Yan yung ginamit niya. One more thing, meron pa. Assumptions na kapag may contradiction sa minor details, automatic false na lahat. Assumption na kapag walang direct 1st century Roman inscription, therefore fictional lang daw si Jesus. At higit sa lahat, yung mindset na lahat ng Christians biased pero kami objective. But here's the irony. Itong mga taong ito, sila ang pinaka-biased. Pansinin niyo itong taong ito na si Illusion. Yan, binanggit ko na siya ngayon nang sa ganun, maging aware kayo. Guys, listen. Halos lahat ng mga seryosong historiador, including atheist scholars, inaamin nilang merong historical Jesus na nabuhay ng 1st century. Hindi lang Christian scholars, hindi lang conservative scholars, kahit agnostic and atheist scholars. Pero sa internet mythicism, parang gusto nilang palabasin na sila lang ang quote-and-quote nakadiskubre ng katotohanan laban sa buong field ng historical scholarship. Doon pumapasok ang danger ng mga dokumentaryong tulad ng Creating Christ. Kasi, listen, nung ako'y college, napanood ko yung Zeitgeist, napanood ko rin yung The Da Vinci Code. Siyempre, dramatic eh. Dramatic ang dating. Parang dun may nakatuklas na kung ano-ano, whatever. Akala ko nga totoo eh. Right? Kaso, hindi ako nagpaniwala kaagad. By God's grace, until today, I still defended the historical Jesus and even the case for the resurrection. Alam niyo kasi sa unang tingin, mukhang intellectual, mukhang scholarly, mukhang hidden truth pa nga eh. Pero, pag sinuri pong mabuti, deeply, mapapansin po natin na maraming claims ang heavily speculative. At yun mismo ang nakita natin sa mga arguments ni Illusion. Pansinin ninyo yung mga pattern niya sa mga naging debate ko sa kanya, sa mga naging sagutan namin sa Facebook at sa TikTok, you name it. Hindi niya talaga gustong pag-usapan ng strongest evidence for the resurrection. Napansin niyo naman, di ba? Kahit yung pinakita ko na 4 to 5 minute video, hindi nga niya na-touch yung arguments for the resurrection eh. Ang pinunta niya, inscription. Hindi niya gustong harapin ng direkta ang mga sumusunod na evidence for the resurrection. Empty tomb, early creed, post-resurrection appearances, rise of the disciples' belief, conversions of Paul and James, the explosive rise of Christian faith despite of persecution. Bakit? Alam niyo po ba kung bakit? Yun kasi ang tunay na battlefield. Kaso naduwag si Ilu. Naduwag din yung isa niya pong kabaro. Gusto pa nga ng kasama nito, Trinity lang. So anong ginawa ng taong yan? Lumipat sa hyper-skepticism, sa technicalities. Ay, secret si Jesus, yan! Walang inscription, hindi reliable gospel. Pero hindi niya sinagot ang pinakamahalagang tanong. Paano nagsimula ang Christian movement na ito noong first century? Yan ang laging tanong ng resurrection argument. Kaya kahit magsabi ka, hindi, wala, nonsense ang resurrection ganito, blah, blah, blah. Hindi sapat yun. Nasa iyo ang burden of proof para patunayan yan. You need a better explanation. Even in my debate with Mr. Legabsuna, hindi siya nagpresenta ng kanyang alternative explanation. Si Ilu pa kaya? Diyan po bumabagsak ang maraming skeptics online. Kasi madali ang magduda, real talk, pero mas mahirap ang magpaliwanag. Tikita niyo po si Ilu, gumawa pa ng video na akala niya nagpapabagsak sa aking credibility sa debate career. Kaso in reality, binagsak ni Ilu ang kanyang sarili. Ang topic, the resurrection. Pero bakit napunta siya dun sa inscription? Alam niyo, listen, I posted this video habang si Ilu ang isa sa mga adjudicator. Obviously, hindi naman sa pero nung nagde-decide si Ilu kung sino yung may matibay na argument, blah, 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 blah. Be honest to yourselves, my friends. Pero tila baga, nagdesisyon siya because of his anger at me. Habang pinapanood ko si Ilu noon bilang adjudicator, mas lalo kong nakita ang epekto ng ganitong klaseng internet skepticism. Hindi na objective, hindi na balanse, hindi na scholarly. Katunayan, naging emotional na. At yan ang nakakatawa. Then supposedly, sa naging debate ko sa isang Muslim friend, si Ilu dapat adjudicator. Sabi ko nga dati, mas may respeto pa ako kay You Will Die na isang atheist na nakadebate ko noon about the resurrection and about Christianity 1 or 2 years ago. And yet, he became objective sa kanyang observation sa naging debate namin. Adjudicator tong si Ilu. Pero nung ginawa niya, siya pa mismo nag-cross-examine sa akin. Nagtaas pa ng boses, hindi nakinig sa sagot. At noong mag-rebat ako, bigla siyang umalis doon sa live. Tapos gumawa ng splice clip para palabasin na wasak ang aking career o credibility sa debate career. Na-expose daw ako. Pero isipin ninyo, kung talagang nadurog ang case for the resurrection, bakit kailangan pang i-splice ang video? Kung talagang tingin niya wasak na nga ang resurrection argument, then bakit ayaw tanggapin ang formal resurrection debate? Kung talagang debunk na nga ang historical Jesus, then bakit hanggang ngayon, puro side comments pa rin imbes na actual structured debate? At pansinin nyo, nag-move on siya doon sa mga kaibigan natin like Brother K at maging sa ating kaibigang atheist na si You Will Die. Tapos mag-expose siya, tapos minion daw. What? Is that a joke, Ilu? Nagtatanong lang ako, ha? Doon po ninyo makikita ang malaking difference ng taong naghanap ng katotohanan at taong naghanap lang ng internet victory. At bilang Kristiyano na seryosong nag-aaral ng historical Jesus, well, bilang Christian na seryosong nag-aaral nito, ito ang isa sa pinakamahalagang leksyon na aking natutunan. Kailangan po ng pagpapakumbaba. Pagpapakumbaba ang kailangan dito. Hindi sapat ang confidence. Kasi pag nag-aaral tayo ng history, mapapansin po natin agad na hindi simplistic ang reality. You see guys, historical studies are messy. Hindi lahat complete ang records, hindi lahat preserve ang mga dokumento, hindi lahat direct evidence. Pero hindi po ito ibig sabihin fictional agad. Kung ganun palang standard, then maraming historical figures ang mawawala rin sa kasaysayan. Isa pa, pansin ko po sa mga hyper-skeptics online, madalas gusto nila impossible standard para lamang kay Jesus. Pag ibang historical figure, okay lang ang indirect sources. Pero pagdating kay Jesus, hindi daw sapat. Pag Roman Emperor, tatanggapin. Pero pag kay Jesus, conspiracy. Pag secular source, okay lang. Pero pag Gospels, bias, agad. Pero mukhang nakakalimutan nila na ancient history itself works through sources with perspectives. Lahat po ng mga ancient authors may biases, whether they like it or not. Si Tacitus, may bias yan. Si Josephus, may bias rin. Si Suetonius, may bias din. Bias does not automatically destroy historical value. And real talk, hindi ito naiintindihan ng maraming internet skeptics. Sige, I will finish this right now. Bilang pagtatapos ng ating series tungkol sa Creating Christ documentary, sa totoo lang, aaminin ko sa inyo, mas lalo po akong na-encourage na mag-aral. I'm not afraid on skepticism. Actually, mas lalo po akong interested. Mas lalo akong naging interested sa evidence. Sa totoo lang, while I'm studying the historical Jesus and the case for the resurrection, mas lalo ko pong nakikita kung bakit hindi naglaho ang Christianity noong first century. Because something happened. So kahit anong gawin ng hyperskepticism, hindi nito mabubura ang historical reality na may movement na biglang dumaganap sa Roman Empire na nakasentro sa ating Panginoong Jesus, proclaiming His resurrection, that His disciples were willing to lay their lives because of their eyewitness claim, and even in the midst of the persecution, hindi napigilan. Yun ang tanong na kailangang sagutin ng bawat skeptic. Hindi sapat yung, I doubt it. History demands explanation. At sa dulo, ito rin ang mensahe ko sa mga hyper-skeptics, including Ilo. Kung talagang naniniwala kang wasak ng historical Jesus and resurrection case, then face the debate directly. Hindi po adjudicator mode, hindi po edited clips, hindi comment section. Formal debate. We've done the historical Jesus, bakit hindi yung resurrection of Jesus? Doon natin tingnan kung sino talaga ang may solid case. At kung hindi pa rin tatanggapin, well, that speaks louder than any TikTok clip. So as a Christian, mga kaibigan, hindi tayo dapat matakot magtanong. Hindi tayo dapat matakot sa kasaysayan at sa scholarship. Kasi nga, as I've said before, and I will say it again, truth does not fear investigation. At habang ako'y nagpapatuloy sa pag-aaral ng biblical studies, historical Jesus research, and even the resurrection, kahit napaka-busy ko, kahit busy sa work, busy sa pag-take care sa aking sariling family, together with my wife and my daughter, while I'm doing this, mas lalo kong nakikita na hindi blind faith ang Christianity, na dahil kay Christ, may meaning ang buhay. Christianity is faith grounded in history. So hindi sapat, hindi ibig sabihin solved na lahat ng questions. Pero sapat ang ebidensya para seryosohin ang claim na talagang nabuhay si Kristo Jesus noong first century, na siya namatay by means of crucifixion, and on the third day, He rose again from the dead. At yon ang topic, yon ang diskusyon na hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin matakasan ng hyperskepticism. So my brothers and sisters in Christ, especially sa mga kaibigan nating mga skeptics, I invite everyone to re-examine their position. Because after all, if Jesus had risen from the dead, then it only points out na may meaning ang buhay, may Diyos, may afterlife. So that will be all. God bless po sa lahat po ng mga nakikinig, and I invite every one of you to re-examine the case for the resurrection and why Jesus is the only way. Jesus is alive. Jesus is Lord. Magandang araw, and God bless.